Good morning, class. Great to be with you again. Winston Churchill and a cigar couldn't be here today, so the artist Edward S. Curtis will be today's extra credit. I want to give a shout out for four kids that are really killing it. Thank you very much. 5 actually. I got Trinity B, I got Kyle, Michaela, Chloe C, and Maddie H. Excuse me, thank you guys. Today, Edward S. Curtis is going to be talking to you about chapters 10 and 11. So let's get started. So Victor's still camping, trying to clear his head. He's exercising, he's doing a lot of hiking. He's hiking on glaciers in the Alps, very dangerous. Camping out. That's on 80, 81, 82, 83. More God complex stuff. He is looking at the mountains and he's saying, man, amazing how the Creator creates this stuff. And I create stuff too. Like some of those kind of thoughts. He's climbing up Mont Blanc. And then he sees this thing on a glacier far away, and it's definitely a human form, and it's moving at superhuman speed. Mary Shelley invents the word superhuman, and he goes, man, if that's him, this is not going to be pretty. Because I don't know if I can take him. He's big and powerful. On page 83, Mary Shelley invents the phrase Mortal Kombat. So you gamers out there, superhuman and Mortal Kombat. This girl has invented a lot of stuff that still is impacting our culture today. It's amazing. Immortality. So Victor says, devil, you stay away from me, because I will try at least to kill you. And the demon speaks. And he says, I expected this reception, said the demon. All men hate the wretched. How then must I be hated, who am miserable beyond all living things? Yet you, my Creator, detest and spurn thy creature, to whom thou art bound by ties only dissoluble by the annihilation of one of us. You purpose to kill me. How dare you sport thus with life? How dare you sport thus with life? What a great quote for my journal. Pink. How dare you make sport with life? Playing God. No, 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 Victor. And notice if you're watching the films, like one of the big takeaways, especially the 1931 Boris Karloff film, it's a good movie. But this whole like friend, good, bad. This guy can actually talk because he's been reading Milton's Paradise Lost. Yeah, he taught himself how to read. And Paradise Lost is not an easy book. It's poetry. It's epic poetry, kind of like Homer's The Odyssey. And guess what? Paradise Lost, all about God complex. Page 84. Again, the monster is eloquent and can speak beautifully. But he says, I'm miserable, Victor. I'm alone. No one will have anything to do with me. And I have to live up here in these ice caves because I scare people and I'm very lonely. So you need to do something about it. So then chapter 11, he starts telling us stories. He's eating berries. He's living out in the forest. Now I'm on page 88, 89. He's camping. He finds a fire. He doesn't know how to recreate a fire, but he uses it. Page 90, 91. He finally finds a little hut, but he scares the old man in it. The old man runs out. He spends the night, but he knows it's not going to be a long-lasting thing. He then, from the hut, goes to a village, and all the villagers are, oh my God, what is this thing? And they start running after him with pitchforks and torches, and he doesn't hurt anyone. Finally, he finds a little hovel, which is kind of like, I don't know if any of your grandparents have like an outdoor cellar where you dig a hole and then you put a little roof over the top of it. Hutton Settlement has one. And then that's where you used to store like your canned goods when we didn't have refrigerators. That's like a hovel. And so this one's abandoned and it's next to a family's home. But so far, so good. He can kind of hang out in there and they don't seem to be caring about going into it too much, even though they were children. And I would think a child would want to go play in it like I would want to. That's on page 91. It's right next to the pigsty. So he's living basically just smelling the pigs the whole time. Page 92, 93. This is where a young girl sees him and doesn't freak out like everyone else has. She just sees him as a big person. Kind of like how when Cannon was describing that African-American kid in his kindergarten class, remember? And he didn't say anything about skin color because you have to be taught that. This little girl was not taught to hate the different, which I think is very interesting on page 92. At the bottom of 92, she invents one of Poe's stories. There was an imperceptible chink through which the eye could just penetrate. His yellow eye, just like the telltale heart. Good job, Poe. You ripped that off 30 years later. Nice. She also then, too, invents the words, sings like a nightingale. We use that all the time. It's unbelievable. Sweeter than the voice of the thrush or the nightingale, the little girl sang. And the monster was just mesmerized by how beautiful this little girl could sing. And the grandpa would play his guitar and his piano. Last page of the chapter, he's a very sensitive guy. The demon is. Super sensitive. And then this is another reference to Paradise Lost, God Complex. This was Edward S. Curtis. Good afternoon, class.